Well, welcome again these Wednesday mornings at 9:45 here Pacific time at Tustin Longevity Center. We do these weekly Ask the Integrative Doctor any question you want. So even if I have a little topic to prime the pump, type in your chat questions and our staff will give them to me and I'll do my best to try and answer it from an integrative doctor's perspective. Again, we're trying to do this to help our patients have yet another mode of access for their questions and to make recordings. Maybe we'll be able to do some teaching with our own staff or in a larger fashion. Again, this is not designed to be personal medical advice. This is designed to be general information for the public about integrative approaches to things before we have to use our standard medical allopathic treatment modalities, medicines, and stuff like that. We do a monthly seminar every second Thursday of the month. That starts at 7 o'clock and goes to 8:30. Next seminar is going to be on gut health, so that ought to be very interesting. We very much need to take care of how we bring the world into our body by our food choices and patterns of eating. That will be presented by our physician assistant, Priya Patel. I will also be available for that as well. So that's going to be on October 10th, I believe is the second Thursday of October. And then I'll be here every morning, Wednesdays, 9:45 to ask your questions. We do have some questions that were saved from last visit. I will bring up my little topic to kind of give people time to log in. And that is, we do have our Doctor's Nutrition Bar. This bar is something we designed because I was so frustrated with the past 30, 40 years of dietary advice in that you were put on the advice to avoid saturated fats and be on a low-fat diet. This has challenged the health of all of us because our cell membranes are composed, as you remember, it's a double layer of phospholipid fats and protein receptors. So your cell membrane, all your membranes are made of fat. It's a double layer from your head to your toe, eyeball, everything, heart cell, muscle cell. They're all made of this bilipid layer. And again, I was influenced by my father in food research because he worked on the fatty acid sciences with Armour Food Research. And when they made these recommendations, it didn't sit well with him. And I was raised in chemistry, majored in chemistry, biochem, and biology. And before I became a doctor, and I knew that these pieces of advice were not well supported. And when my population of patients was coming in on such a low-fat diet, I said I had to find a way to get healthy, safe fats into their diet. So I started publishing research on phospholipid replacement therapy. I have many publications on this to improve energy, mental clarity, reduce fatigue, improve cognitive function, even supports fertility, skin health, beauty, and it goes on and on. Because if every cell in your body is a double layer of fat and protein, it's not made of carbohydrates. We eat the fruits and vegetables for micronutrients in them and their fiber content, but we're not composed of them. So we were at a great loss. Therefore, we doctors here designed the Doctor's Nutrition Bar. This is a research, 25 years of study going into this that is rich in healthy fats that you're composed of and low in carbs because I was always a low carb doctor long before there was any discussion of a keto diet or being low carb. We always were looking at the insulin and glucose levels, and our clinic uses much stricter standards than your doctors over the past several decades. So we designed this bar, and I wanted to tell you it's now available. We started it last year, it came out, and we were overwhelmed with the response. We were so happy. The taste, the texture, and the reception of it was fantastic. And it sold out so quickly, we actually ran out, and it really disappointed my patients. So now we have a better mechanism of getting this, and we have a better idea of how well it's received. And so we're certainly available to have it for you. One of the things I wanted to point out is that we've researched this bar. It isn't a question. We looked at blood sugars compared to the top cell protein bars, and we found that the best sellers had a very high response to their insulin. So if you ate the most top selling bars, the insulin in the population would go way up, where ours was very, very minimal. We also looked at the glucose rise in our patients on our bars, and we found a very, very marginal rise, where there was a huge, multiple times higher rise in the top selling bars. So our bars will curb your appetite, and we did a third study. So we did the insulin study, the glucose study. We did surveys for satiation, being satisfied and being able to get through time without having hunger pains to the appropriate and better planned meals. We did studies regarding improved digestion, because it contains the highest content of fiber. We were able to get into this 15 grams of fiber. There's no other bar that can do that. We have prebiotics in there. The net carb is 4, and the protein content we got in there was 15 grams. And it's just a fantastic, wonderful, satiating, healthy thing to eat when you're on the go and you don't have time to eat a healthy meal. So once again, it's repairing those cell membranes. And it is known that fats and amino acids will give a signal back to the brain that you're satisfied, you've eaten. And so since we're so high in protein, so high in fiber, and so low in carbs, that the satiation satisfaction is very good. So we've clinically proven this. We have 25 years of research that I've done and published on. We've tested it on hundreds of patients. It does repair the cell membranes. And if the inside of the cell has the battery mitochondria, the energy unit, it's made of the same membrane. And so we know that our energy goes up because we're repairing intracellular mitochondrial membranes. We've actually tested this and saw ATP production enhanced. We told you it aids with digestion with all the prebiotics and the fiber. It's all natural. It's vegan friendly. It's all organic. And it increases your energy and curbs your appetite. I'm just very pleased at how well it turned out. We do have a white paper that we've put in all our research for those who are so clinically inclined to look at all the research and publications. And this is what it looks like. And so you can get these from doctors and clinicians, and we're going to be giving this to the the medical community to use as the only researched clinically nutrition bar. So do we have any questions from last week?
We do. We have a couple questions. Okay. One question that wasn't answered yet was more of a suggestion. Can you put more gift certificate information on the website? And good news on that, we expect to have a gift certificate system in place in the next week or two at the latest. Okay, so as we're coming toward the holidays, it is a wise thing to understand if you're going to party in New Year's, it's probably smart to get an immune drip afterwards, a vitamin C drip. You can give the gift of recovery by giving a gift certificate for an immune drip in our IV department. Of course, you can use these gift certificates for nutrients, and will just enjoy helping your family birthdays and things like that. So hopefully that'll be a blessing to you and to your family. A wise way to spend your income for gifts. Okay, we had another question from someone named Heidi.
Okay.
She said, my husband is unable to eat fresh fruits and vegetables such as lettuce, spinach, carrots, melons, etc., to the point where he can only eat mostly cooked vegetables. Is there a reason for this?
Well, it makes me think people who can't tolerate raw vegetables have an irritable bowel. I would want to know his age. I would want to know his blood type. The reason why I want to know the blood type is, in general, blood type A's don't digest as well. They don't make enough digestive enzymes and acid to break up the fats and proteins, which are harder to digest than the carbohydrates and starches and fruit sugars. Vegetables are composed of undigestible materials. These are cellulose, they're fixed, they're plants, they stick where they're at. We're made of fats and we're mobile. So if he's having trouble digesting, I would suggest that he try, we use orthomolecular orthodigestzyme. And I found this over 3 or plus decades to be very helpful with complaints of maldigestion with fruits and vegetable and lettuce. We do a study called the Immunofood Lab. This is a place in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, that has been doing for 48 years now just IgG food allergy, food sensitivities. And they have the longest history. That's all they do, and they do it exceedingly well. So we use them for this study. And often when I see lettuce show up, it suggests that they have a lot of leaky gut, meaning the lining of their gastrointestinal gut has, instead of tight junctions, they have expanded leaky junctions. You have to remember our immune system, 80% of it lines this gut because the world comes at us through the what we're eating. The world comes at us and your immune system is looking at it. So if the immune system is worn out or frightened, so to say, it'll be exploding along that lining and you can get spongier membranes. So my suggestion is try and find a good integrative doctor who understands the leaky gut concept and start a digestive aid like orthodigestzyme that has the enzymes used for digesting food, but it also contains betaine hydrochloric acid. Find out his blood type. And I would eat a one menu day. When you're having trouble digesting, the more variety you put in every menu or meal you eat, the more work you put on the gut. So we teach when we're healing guts to take it easy, eat a more simple one menu day. So we have a chicken, vegetable, nut, and berry day. We choose berries because they're the lowest fruit sugar carb content. So if you have chicken for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the same vegetable, the same nut, and the same berry, just raspberries for your 3 meals. Oftentimes we suggest not to eat breakfast, so you're reducing the work volume of your gut at the same time. Hopefully those are good suggestions. We have 5 clinicians here. You can call our office 714-544-1521 or text us, and maybe one of us can see you and help you.
Thank you, doctor. We had a question from Deborah. Where can we acquire these essential fatty acids, and could this play in the role of eye health such as low tension glaucoma? I think this is when you were talking about essential fatty acids.
Yes, we have 2 essential fatty acids that a human needs, and that's linoleic acid and alpha-linolenic acid. And these fatty acids are critical in holding on to the protein receptors in that double membrane. So when you think of this membrane here, these blobs here are the protein receptors. And they are attracted electrochemically to stay in place like magnetism. And linoleic acid and alpha-linoleic acid have a double bonds in them, and these double bonds have a electronegative nature to them. The protein itself has sulfhydryl groups, sulfur and hydrogen. These are net positive. So that positive to the negative is kind of like a magnet, so that your protein receptors floating in the membrane are attached to these fatty acids. And if you don't eat them, you're going to be ill. You're not going to be able to repair your cells as well. We get them from eating a diet rich in animal products. And of course, this has been attacked for 40 or 50 years. And that's why I think we're such an ill nation with such chronic problems. If all your trillions of cells have been given a low-fat diet, then you're going to be suffering. So egg yolks have it in it. eating chicken and the skin of the chicken, eating beef, eating organ liver, things like that, organ meats, eating shrimp and crustaceans. All these are providing healthy fats necessary for healthy membranes, but specifically linoleic and alpha-linolenic acid are in your egg yolks, your meats. It's also in some seeds and nuts like sunflower seeds and flaxseed, things like that. So processed foods, packaging, you have to destroy these electrochemical bonds because they're so reactive with oxygen, and oxygen combines, oxidizes them, and you get the rancid, dying smell of aged food. So all your potato chips and things like this, packaged foods, crackers, and all of them are damaged in these areas, hydrogenating these things so they are less reactive with oxygen. So hopefully that helps you.
The second part of that question was, could these essential fatty acids play a role in eye health, such as low tension glaucoma? Oh, definitely. I mean, the back of the eye does have, in the retina, we have a need for EPA and DHA in particular, and these are made from the linoleic and alpha-linolenic acid. You can make all the EPA and DHA you need from consuming in your diet every day these essential human fatty acids that are ignored in the medical conversation. I'm not sure if many medical schools teach enough nutrition to help the doctor understand that. So the cell membranes will fail, and the function of the organ, whether it's your eye or your brain, will fail. If you need DHA, you'll have to eat a lot of this to make it for your eye. So we need some in your eye, in part of your midbrain, the DHA. Men's testicles needed for production of sperm. But the NIH did a study on the daily requirements. If I remember correctly, the daily DHA requirement is 7.1 to 2 milligrams a day, not hundreds or thousands of milligrams. And besides, you can make it all if you get linoleic and alpha-linolenic acid in your diet from eating enough animal products, nuts and seeds every day. So yes, your eye health will be damaged. The lining of your capillaries, you have to understand, cell membranes line all your blood vessels. And look at, if you are not eating enough to repair the lining of your blood vessels, they're going to corrode and attract plaque. So we believe that these healthy fats, people who eat healthy fats have healthier cardiovascular systems, and the lining of your blood vessels are injured by these processed foods, oxidized foods, and your cardiovascular system will suffer. So that's another reason why we teach a healthy fat consumption in our diet. Thank you, Doctor. So here's a question about hormones. How long is an appropriate time to balance the hormone estrogen when taking estradiol?
Well, estrogen is not a biological entity. That's a name of a company, like Toyota is the name of the makers of Toyota cars. But in the world of Toyota, you can buy a Lexus, you can buy a Corona, or another model.
Estrogen?
Yeah, so estrogen is the title of female hormones. So there's estradiol, there's estriol, and there's estrone. So there's only those three. So here's estrogen up here. That's the name when we're talking about estradiol, estriol, and estrone. And when we talk about balance, the body is remarkable, and who can know it? It's so well made. Estradiol is the main hormone of a woman. It is the feature for which our breasts and our hips and our womanly features emerge from. Estrone is like what we would call in chemistry a dimer. Estradiol can, in its fluid, plasma, cytosol area, it can alternate between estradiol and estrone, estradiol and estrone. So some molecules can kind of flip with little electrochemical changes or a hydrogen placement. a hydroxyl placement. So really, when you say estradiol, you're really talking about estrone as well. The one that is much, much lower and of less consequence unless you're pregnant is estriol. Estriol E3 is the only one that has any really clinical impact. And this is produced significantly during pregnancy. So that the estradiol, which is very womanizing, feminizing, is not as powerful impact on the baby as it's developing. If a little girl baby is exposed to the high estradiol level, she might have a menstrual cycle at birth and have vaginal bleeding, even a newborn female baby. So in God's wisdom, he has estriol build up, which is a much more mild female hormone. And so that boy babies and girl babies are not estrogenized as much. That's the general concept. So we have estradiol, we have estrone, and we have estriol. Estriol is mostly for when you're pregnant. And estradiol and estrone pretty much are, the only thing you really need to track and measure is estradiol. And there's really no point in tracking estriol if you're not pregnant. So hopefully that answers that.
Thank you, doctor. Another question on hormones from Amela. What is the best time of day to use the progesterone cream, morning or night?
Well, I always suggest nighttime use because progesterone is also known as a hypnagogic item. It enhances your sleep. It promotes drowsiness. So in general, the better time to take progesterone is evening. But there are many people who take it during the daytime due to their schedules or their patterns of life. And it doesn't make everyone groggy or sleepy. And so I don't think it's a critical thing clinically. But if you take high doses of progesterone, definitely you can reach a level of height of progesterone usage that will make you drowsy. But most of our dosing is between 50 milligrams to 200 milligrams. These are usually not enough in the vast majority of women to make you tired. So you can use it whenever you want. It'll do all the work we want it to. But if you have the opportunity, it's probably better to use it at night.
I was surprised to hear yesterday in our clinical meeting with all of our physicians us talk about progesterone for a moment, and I never knew that progesterone also promotes a feeling of well-being. So
yes.
There's other benefits to progesterone as well.
Yes. Our hormones are designed to help us be well, in that they help our brain cognition. You'll notice most women who go into menopause start getting forgetful. And they start getting more irritable and their sleep becomes less refreshing. Hormones have I think I've seen 400 different roles for estradiol in a human body. But your well-being, your sense of happiness, your mood elevation, your sense of I can participate is associated with a rich and healthy level of your hormones. I'm 65. If you go by Chinese years, 66. And I have been taking hormones. I think I went through early menopause right around age 37, 38 from all the stress in my life. And I would not be able to handle it if I didn't stay on hormones. So I always joke and tell my husband, I want my hormones put in my coffin when I die. I'm going to take them forever.
Thank you, doctor. It looks like we have one more question on hormones, actually. How much estradiol and progesterone should a woman in her 40s have?
I don't know that that's been adequately studied. There isn't a number or a range that is taught. There's clinical experience, and that's why I'm doing these little videos. My personal clinical experience is that women should be approximately around 100 picograms per deciliter, 75, 150. But if you look at estradiol levels in young girls, 18, 28, 35, their estradiols can reach up to 500 or even a little more. And postmenopausal, you'll see women have under roughly 30 or 25 picograms per deciliter. So to get the effectiveness, and you know, estradiol always varies in the monthly cycle of a woman. So she's not always at 500, and she usually never goes any less than 50. So in that range, a woman is going through 2 phases, biphasic month cycles. And so if we're talking about postmenopausal women, I would say I like to see my women somewhere in the range of 100 on their estradiol. And then, of course, I'm talking to them and examining them, getting an annual pelvic exam to look at the effects that estradiol is having on their whole body, breast exam, vaginal, mucosal exam, and saying, are you having hot flashes? Are you having night sweats? How is your mood? How is your sleep quality? Do you feel refreshed? With all these things put together with a number, then we say, if you're satisfied and I report your blood level is about 89, then, and you feel good and your vaginal exam is good, then we leave it there. Okay. Now, I also want to make a caveat whenever I'm talking about hormones. I only give postmenopausal hormones to women who are going to take care of themselves, in that they have to be low carb. They have to do some form of exercise. They have to drink enough water, and they have to take enzymes. I say this because young girls are full of enzymes. They're more active. They tend to drink more water. As we age, we drink less. And hyperinsulinemia, hyperglycemia, these things clog up our capillaries and choke cells out. So I believe cancers of the breast are more triggered by oxidative damage from, compressing your breast, clogging it up with a lot of insulin, glucose, sticky molecules, fruit sugar molecules. And then what happens is those breast cells are partially exsanguinated, partially choked for hours at night when we're sleeping. And over time, these cells in the breasts or anywhere essentially that are choked with a poor, slow-moving, sludgy, not enough water, not enough enzymes to clean and break things up. Those cells are going to be in such a oxygen-deprived chronic situation. The DNA will be triggered inside the nucleus to say, I need a blood supply, and it'll morph. There's a theory called the trophoblastic theory of cancer by Dr. John Beard in 1909, and that was consistent with Otto Warburg's theory in 1931 that cancer is a expression of chronic hypoxia. So I only want women on hormones who are going to drink their water every day, take some enzymes systemically on an empty stomach to kind of clean like soap suds inside with that water, move a little bit to get some pumping going, stay low carb so they don't clog and sticky everything up. And I've been doing this, I'm practicing almost 40 years now, and I just don't see the breast cancer incidence of the general population or diabetes or heart attacks that the general population has, because we hammer educationally every visit with our patients. So hopefully that answered that question.
I think it did, Doctor. Thank you very much. And that is just about it for our time. Is there anything else that you want to leave us with?
Well, I want to remind you, October 10th is our seminar. It's on gut health. Our physician assistant, Priya Patel, will be presenting, and I will also be there. We also have this every Wednesday, 9:45 in the morning. Now, I would like your feedback if you would text me or send some information. We're considering doing this half hour once a week in the evening, maybe every Thursday night, except for the one Thursday night we do the seminar. If you would start texting me back so that some of you who might want to watch this live or have a question would want to do it in the evening. We were thinking about Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So give me your feedback. This is for you. This is to help you understand how one integrative doctor is approaching her patient population. Us clinic here of 5 clinicians, we are all very similar. And again, this isn't personal medical advice, it's general guidance and how we approach the topic in general. And hope to see you buying some of those bars and taking care of yourself to eat something research that's good. And hopefully you give the gift of life with some very good certificates for your family and friends, a meaningful Christmas or birthday gift or anniversary. So I guess at that, I'll thank you and see you next Wednesday at 9:45 in the morning.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you,
everyone.